Hello guys, this is Edward from EdSTEM. Welcome back to another tutorial video on Arduino project. In our last lesson number 3, we were able to understand the basic setup or the basic principle involving infrared remote control and infrared receiver on Arduino project. You can check out my previous video for the setup, because we are going to use that as a foundation for today's learning, for today's project. Today we are going to learn how to control RGB light and also mix RGB colors using the infrared remote control. Okay, and in case you haven't done so, kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel, like the video, drop a comment, and don't forget to turn on your notification bell so you get to be notified whenever a new video like this is dropped. Okay, so now this is the basic setup from our last video, the basic setup for the infrared receiver. Okay, and today we're going to continue from there. What we need to do today is to incorporate our RGB LED bulb, LED light. Okay, so now today what we're going to need for today is, aside our already made setup from our previous lesson, we are going to need RGB light LED, RGB LED. I can see the RGB LED has 4 legs. This is different from a white LED bulb. Okay, this has 4 pins. Okay, and this pin is, the first pin is the red. You can see there's a pin that appears to be the longest. The one that appears to be the longest is the ground. Okay, is the ground, as you can see. Then the one before that is the red. Then this is the ground. This is the green. After the ground, we have the green. Then we have the blue. Okay, and you're also going to need 3 1 kilo ohms current limiting resistor. 1 kilo ohms. Okay, 3 1 kilo ohms current limiting resistors. And of course our jumper cables, and don't forget your infrared your remote control, your infrared remote control. Okay, and so we're going to continue with our setup. We're going to go straight to the setup, because I've done the basic, I've explained the basic concept of this project already in my previous lesson, so I will have to go straight to the point. All right, so now I'm going to connect, we'll be connecting RGB LED this way, in a way that the red, the first leg, the red part will be facing the left side. Okay, so I'll connect it this way. All right, let me zoom up. I hope you can see. All right, so now what we're going to do next is we are going to connect take one of the current limiting resistor, 1 kilo ohms current limiting resistor. Okay, we connect one of the leg of resistor to one of the pin, to the red. That is the red. The first one is the red. Okay, then connect the other leg of the resistor. Okay, all right, remember guys, you have 3. The second one also, you connect the second one to the green. And the the last resistor is then connected to the blue, which is the last pin of the RGB LED. So I can connect it this way. Okay, now we'll take our jumper cables. First, we connect the ground of the RGB LED to the ground of the Arduino. Okay, now the ground is the second pin, right? So I can connect it from here, don't forget, and connect it to the ground of the Arduino this way. And then next, connect the other leg of the resistor to the pins, to the read pins or the signal of the Arduino, which is the pins 1 to 13. All right, so I'm going to use the first one, that is the red. I'll connect it to pin 8. Okay, and the second one, which is the green, I'll connect it to pin 9. All right, then the last one, which is blue, will be connected to pin 10. So I'm using this cable. I have to, let me look for a blue cable of just to be in order. I will swap the cable for the ground to black. Okay, so I'll remove the blue cable for the ground of the RGB, and I'll use black, so I can use the blue cable for the blue pin. I hope it makes sense, right? Yeah. Then the blue jumper cable is then connected to the that is the blue pin of the RGB LED is then connected to pin 10. So we have pin 8, 9, 10, red, green, blue. Okay, all right, now we are done our setup. So the next thing is to connect our Arduino and then open our LED, our Arduino IDE. Okay, so I'm going to connect now. Okay, then we're going to open our Arduino IDE and then insert the code. But before we do that, we have to remember we're using this remote, right? And our RGB LED basically consists of red, green, and blue. Then we are going to be mixing other colors as well. Okay, probably orange, yellow, cyan, and magenta. So now what we're going to do is this: we are going to look for the hexadecimal code, the hex code for the buttons which we are going to be using for this project. I mean, although I did explain that in my previous video though, but today we are going to go through it briefly as well, so we can properly understand what is going on. Okay, so we have to look for the hex code of the buttons which we are going to be using to control, you know, this RGB light. Okay, all right, so let's go to our IDE. Okay, so this is our Arduino IDE. This is the IDE. Now we are going to upload the code to test the infrared receiver to ensure the receiver is working, and also to get the hexadecimal code of the buttons we are going to use. So I'm going to put the code here. The code is from the previous lesson. can check that out. So, and we are going to upload it. We're going to upload. All right, so it's done. Now let's open our serial monitor, and so let's press our remote buttons. So let's start with the red button. Okay, so the red, you can see it's working from the serial monitor. The red, the hex code is the code that comprises of letters and numbers, and there are usually about 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, about 10 digits. Okay, so that is the hex code for red. So whichever remote you are using, ensure you note down the hex code for the buttons, for the buttons you are going to use as well. Okay, so this is for this particular remote. All right, this is for this particular remote. And so let's look at, let's continue. Let's look at the green. For green, I'm going to press the green button, and for green we have 0xA659FF00. You can see it's different from the red button. All right, so now we have established that our IR receiver is still working, and for the sake of time, I have gotten my code for this particular remote. So I will to avoid wasting time, we are going to go straight to the other project, to other code, the one that will control the RGB light. Okay, all right. So, and now let's upload the code that involves the RGB light. All right, so this is the code for the RGB light, for the controlling of RGB light, and for the sake of time, I have uploaded the code. I've put the code there already, but I'm going to briefly explain what the code, the setup is all about. Okay, now the first thing to do is, as usual, you have to import the remote. The library, right? You have to import the library. That is the IR remote.hpp, and don't forget it has to be HPP because of the latest update of the library. The previous one was HP, and if you use that, you might not get the required results, you know, for this project. Okay, now first thing is to define your variables. You have your RGB LED pins. Remember, we use pin 8, 9, 10. Okay, so that's our pins, our variables, the RGB pins. Then our infrared receiver pin was on pin 2. Okay, and also now we define the buttons. Okay, you define the buttons. Now the power button. So the buttons we are using in here, basically using the power button. Okay, the red, the green, the blue. You are also using the white, the orange, as you can see from that's the buttons that's on this code here, right? Okay, now so for the power button, the hex code, this is the hex code for the power button. So basically all you need to do is just replace this code with your own hex code from the remote. Okay, you replace this code, this hex code and the code from my own remote. Replace this code with your own hex code from your remote. So that's how to define the buttons of your remote. Okay, then you track the color state. The RGB has 3 colors, right? So initially, once they are not on, they are 0 0 0. Okay, they are 0 0 0, and once they are on, they are 2 2 5 5. Okay, 2 5 5 means that it's on, 0 means that it's off. That is low and high. 2 5 5 is high, 0 is low. Okay, all right. And so initially, auto cycle is not on, that is false, equals to false. And also cycle completed is also false, because this is just the the initial state. All right, and the interval is 1000 millisecond. Okay, which is like basically like, because what this code is going to do is it's going to allow the RGB light to auto cycle. Right, you can see there's a button here that says auto cycle, which is this. Okay, I use this for the auto cycle. Okay, if I press this button, it should the RGB light should cycle on its own. The color should cycle on its own. All right, so that's what it's all about. All right, and okay, so now here we are defining our colors, Okay, this is where we're going to add the basic color of this the basic color in this RGB LED is, they are just red, green, and blue. Right, so the other secondary colors are then mixed from these primary colors. All right, so now for your for the red, remember the first one is red, blue, red, green, and blue. Just give me a minute. All right, I need a pointer. So the first one is red, green, and blue. So if it's red, the red has to be 255. Then the green has to be 0, and the blue has to be 0. All right. For green, red has to be 0, green has to be 255, and blue has to be 0. For blue, the red has to be 0, green 0, and blue 255. Now yellow basically is a mixture of red and green. So the intensity of the combination of this value here is what will give you like yellow or orange. So yellow and orange basically are the same, from the same mixture, right? But the intensity of the colors is what matters, is what differs. All right, so and since we are using a digital an analog write, that's why you'll be able to mix color. Arduino is not analog, Arduino is digital. You will not be able to mix color. I'm going to explain that in later on. All right, so now yellow is red and green. Okay, here I'm using 255. Okay, this particular place does not actually define the real value of yellow. This is where the real value of yellow is defined here. I'm going to show you down here. Okay, here now, down this code here, this is where the real value of yellow, is defined here. You can see now yellow I use 255 as red, and my green is 80. Then orange, I use 255 as orange as red, and 40 as orange. As you can see, both of them are the same, from the same mixture of colors, but orange has less green, okay, while yellow has more green. All right, then for green, the red has to be off 0, blue has to be off 0. For blue, red has to be 0, green has to be 0. Now magenta is a mixture of red and blue. Okay, so I use 255 as the red, 0 as there is no green, then 200 as for the blue. And cyan is a mixture of green and blue, right? So I use 255 and 255 for both of them. All right, and then for white basically is a combination of the three colors, of all the colors. All right, if you can remember your physics or your science class, white light comprises of all the color, right? So here we have the white light. Then here is for the auto cycle. Okay, now I'm going to drop this code in the comment section, or if you want, I'm going to drop in the description. Check the description for this code. All right, now so this is the as you can see, is analog write. If it is digital, you will not be able to tweak the intensity of these colors. All right, so to I think basically that's all. Just check the code from the description. Now we are going to run this code now. We're going to run it and see what happens. Upload the code, uploading. Okay, done. So now we are going to press our button and see our response from there. All right, so now I'm going to press the red button. Okay, as you can see, the red button is on. The red light is on. Let's check our green button. Okay, our green is working, it's on. And let's check our blue. All right, our blue is working fine. And let's check our power button off. Our power off. This is our power off, so it should off the LED bulb. Good. Now let's turn it on again using the power on. Now if I turn it on, it starts with the red LED light. The reason is because it's red that comes first. Okay. All right, so now let's look at other secondary colors. Our orange, this one rather. Okay, now it might not appear as if you might not see it clearly. Now if you want to see the color clearly or properly, all you need to do is look for a translucent material, okay, or use a ping pong ball. Okay, make a hole into a ping pong ball and use it to cover the LED. You will see the light properly, you see the color properly. All right, so I'm going to use a tissue paper. Apparently I don't have a ping pong ball at the moment, so let's see how the color appears. As you can see, this is yellow. Okay, this is yellow, sorry, orange rather, orange. And let's look at yellow. I'm going to press the yellow button and see, can you see the difference? So this is yellow. And let's look at other color, the magenta. I'm going to press the magenta button. Okay, this is the magenta. I'm going to press the cyan, and this is the cyan. Okay, so I'm going to run it again. The auto cycle. I'm going to press the auto cycle. It's going to start from red, green, okay. Actually use red, green. I actually use I use the color in order. So we have to I wanted the color to be in order actually. So we have to rearrange our code, the colors in the code, so they appear in order, like red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and so on. Okay, so I think I have to do that right now to ensure that the colors appear in order, because I have a plan for this particular project. I want to use it for to make a special project. So, and I would like it to be in order. I would like the colors to appear in order. So I will have to do that right away right now. So let's adjust that from our code. Okay, so let's look for the part of the code that is responsible for the arrangement of the colors, how they appear. So I think it's from this part here. Okay, so it should be this: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, magenta, cyan. Yeah, so this is actually what I wanted. So let's check the other part of the code. this side, you can see here it says red, green, blue, yellow, magenta, cyan. So I think we have to rearrange this to red, and orange should come after red, yellow after, in order should be from here. All right, so this is where we have to do the tweaking. Okay, so I've done that. Now you can see now we have red, orange, yellow, green, blue, cyan, magenta, white. Now let's upload the code and press the auto cycle button again and see how the colors will appear. Okay, done. So now let's go back. Let's press our button. All right, let me adjust this. All right. Okay. So let's cover the LED with this tissue paper, and let's start our power button first. Now we have our red. These are red lights because that is the first color. Okay, now our green light. Okay, our blue. Okay, and our orange. Ooh, that's a beautiful orange. Okay, our yellow, our magenta, good, our cyan, beautiful. Cyan happens to be my favorite color from this project, isn't it? It happens to be my favorite. Okay, then our white, let's check our white. You can see white, this is white. Okay, all right, so let's run the auto cycle again and see how the colors will appear. They should appear in order. Okay, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, cyan, magenta, and white, and that's what we wanted. All right, so like I said, I have a special purpose for this project. I'm going to continue with this project later on, and I will let you know what this project is all about. But for now, this is the end of today's project. I hope you're able to understand how to use remote control to infrared remote control to control your RGB lights, and like I said, it can also open doors to other possibilities. It's not just RGB light. It can also use to control any other thing. It could be your servo, it could be a drone, it could be whatever it is you want to do with it. Okay, but just understand the concept. Go to the first video, and I believe this video will also add to your knowledge, and it will make you a better creator. Thank you for joining us today. See you some other time.